Hello world, this is Zan playing LA Satis in Bozmos2. It's turn number 42, and um, we're just past a major victory against Marverne. We uh, we fought his primary army with mine after a magic phase attack, which scattered some of his mages, killed some of his chaff. Didn't really deal a decisive blow, but disrupted his army enough where the following battle of both of our main armies just clashing into each other ended up in a total rout for Marverne. I cast Rigor Mortis, I cast Fall Vapors. I had the Heartstone summoning Wisps to keep his formation more in the back. And then he got run over by a lot of Chariots. So that was last turn. Going on to this one, we have another 1,800 gold from Erethea, the devil himself. We are continuously selling him every gem I have to make as much money as I can so that I can set up as much infrastructure as I can and make as many mages, temples, and labs as possible so that I can light the Banefire Braziers, as you see I'm still doing here, and get more death income, which gets me more chariots, which gets me more land, which gets me more income, and so on and so forth. So here we see I'm empowering somebody in fire. I think it's to summon some of the super combatants that Statis gets. I can't remember for sure, but I'm almost certain that's why it is. We cast Hidden in the Tombs, really more for flavor than anything, just kind of see what it does and see what I get. It's technically more efficient casting Hidden in the Tombs than it is getting the other the reanimators that Statis can get by themselves. The problem is only the Holy 3 one can actually make chariots, which means the other two are not as necessary. But I cast it anyways because I want to see what it does. And to me, that's a pretty good reason. We find a lifeless lake in the Broken Land and the Crown Woods in the Troll Land. During that magic phase, I may have failed to mention that we got horror marked to hell and back. And so we have a horror coming in. And as we've seen, Balin is not amazing in melee. And yeah, he's not going to do a good job here. So that horror is just going to go ahead and eat Balin. Goodbye, friend. See you again next time. That took very long. We have a battle now in the Sleepy Wolds. Most of these battles, yeah, I'm not really going to show most of these because they should all play out very similar. Because as I mentioned, I'll have a big battle with you. My usual strategy, if I can afford doing this. If I'm playing a nation that can do this, which is most of them, I'm going to have a big battle with you. My next moves are probably going to go spread out and raid. And maybe you'll stop some of my raiders, but you won't stop all of them. And given a few turns of income, I could probably make up for their deaths. The morale penalty it's going to apply to you, the player, will be huge. And it'll just generally, I don't know, more land is good. So yeah, this is me spreading out as budget, tiny squads as I can, and then one really, really big squad on Marverne itself, where, like I said, the main army was crushed, so there wasn't really much for him to move on to the capital. We have a bunch of events, some diseases, misfortune, more diseases, bad omens, earth gems, sweet, and one of my bailiffs is afraid of monsters. Makes sense. A worldwide event occurs where Kalisa, whatever, does things. Something about Bananas, Queen of Forgiving, and Alexa over there thinking I'm trying to talk to her. Disease is still spreading in Okjib. Some people die of diseases, and 2 players, Hinam and Ryu Gojo, go down. The Troll Lands, just to reference this province we got, I was super excited when I got it because I have Dryads. This was just after, I think, East of Eden, where I was playing Pangea until I had to sub out, and I know I made Lucid's life a living hell, using Dryads to either blood sacrifice or seduce his armies in mass. So I was really excited to see that I can recruit Dryads again. I actually sent them screenshots to Grippa and to Kirby and Lucid. I'm like, hey, look what I got, guys. And then I realized in Dominions Enhanced, regular Dryads cannot seduce. And that was kind of sad. So at best, they are, which mind you, this isn't bad. At best, they are stealthy Holy 2 creatures, but they also do have, they can be a Nature 2, a Nature 1 Water 1, which is a good cross path, or a Nature 1 Earth 1, which is a good cross path. So at best, they're a good mage and a stealthy creature. Unfortunately, they can't seduce, which is what I was excited for. And I guess they're satyrs, but who really cares about those? So looking at the map, the major battle, again, was here in the Vician Forest in 568. And we see that I spread out down toward these provinces. Again, I'm going to hit Zox every turn I can. I don't know if Marverne picked up on this, but I'm going to hit it every turn I can for that juicy, beautiful 4 air income every possible turn. I pinged this giant fort, or this fort here with everything I have. I was going to assassinate everything if he had kicked off this one Shum Chariot. Unfortunately, he didn't. And then here we are on top of Marverne, and with 419 siege strength, we have enough to break the walls. Yeah, so at this point, it's mainly just pick up the scraps and keep moving forward. So with that, let's move on to turn 43. Okay. We make some more trades with people, so get a bunch of death gems, earth gems, blood slaves, death gems again. A lot of stuff going on here. Oh, dang, I didn't forget, or I did forget to check what the fire gems is for. We'll find out this turn, don't worry. More braziers, more opening of the mouth, because I kind of need research. We have Dire Portent, where Bubbles, Guardian of the Dead, casts the Eternal Pyre. It's never good. Okay, we find a Jade Pagoda, Copper Cliff, and a Sparkling Field. The Jade Pagoda is huge. This is... There's no nation that is unhappy to find this site. This is one of the better sites that you can find. And we'll get to that soon. Let's check out these battles. I don't think there's a big battle this turn. Yeah, it should just be more raiding. Oh, this is a big battle. So Lemuria and Phaecia fight in Sodorth. Again. Kind of weird having your mages in the front. Power of the Spheres. Triggering gem usage. Light of the Northern Star. And Solar Rays. So inspired by Marverne's Magnifying Glass casting Solar Rays on the entire Undead, Phaecia opts to do the same. Also weaving in Thunder Strikes. Do they even cast Blessing? No, they don't. These are just great units. They're just expensive. I don't need Blessings. Okay, and through all those gems, Phaecia comes out on top with no losses. Well done. Although that is 17 mages. Jeez, dude. Okay, in Esthanofia. These should all be raids. They don't really matter to look at. Yeah, it's just Tomb Chariots going burr. Like, nothing fancy. Oh, wait. Battle Marverne might be something, but I don't think it was. Yeah. He booked it. Okay, so I think it's around this point. Marverne sends me a message that amounts to, hey, I realize I have been defeated. We can fight it out. I think I had trapped one of his armies in one of the forts. I can't remember. I think it was this one. In Geisha. Hey, you've defeated me. All's well. You can come in and you can crush me inside my own capital, or we can make a deal where I'm going to leave it undefended. I'm going to leave the rest of my lands really undefended, and I'm going to march out with everything I have and go fuck with Lemuria. I would be a fool. Like, Lemuria has treated me well. Don't get me wrong, but I'll be a fool to say no to a deal like that. Now, there is a chance, and I was worried about this, there is a chance that the player could be like a scumbag and as soon as he leaves with his army, go regroup in and ha, I tricked you and fight me to death. Like that's fair with the in this game. That could happen. But that wasn't the feeling I was there, the impression that this player gave me. He felt honorable to me. And given honor playing something in the picture, or maybe not guaranteeing, but making me think that, yeah, that's actually what's going to happen if I let that army out, I felt kind of confident saying, okay, because in the end, having destroyed most of his infrastructure, his research core, if we did have another big battle, and I cast the same spells I did in the Vician Forest, I don't think he'd win. On top of that, if he did, it wouldn't be clean. I don't think there was anything he could have done to make any of our battles clean. Um, it wouldn't be clean, and I could replace my losses at this point far easier than he can. At this point, I'm pretty sure I'm running at, okay, I thought I was running at 80 chariots per turn. I'm only running at 65 chariots per turn. So regardless, I felt kind of confident that he was an honorable player, or he is an honorable player, sorry. He is an honorable player. He would hold up his end of the deal, and he's just going to go fuck with Lemuria, which, again, I would be dumb to say no to that. Who doesn't want people fucking around with Lemuria? So that happened. I took Lemuria, or I took Marverne, I took some of the provinces, and I'm realizing that Ermor is starting to vulture. The bastard. How dare he? Checking if there's anything cool. Okay, so the Jade Pagoda is over here in the Three Pine Grove. It gives you 3 gems and lets you recruit Masters of the Way and Ministers of Magic. So Ministers of Magic are a little cheaper than Sages for less research, but they are not old age, and they're not all going to be Astral 1, but they can all they have, an array of paths, and sometimes can get 2 paths. So for a lot of nations, this is a way that you can break into some of these paths that you probably weren't expecting on getting. However, if your goal is break into paths, it's probably not the Ministers of Magic. It's probably the Masters of the Way, which are going to be sacred. They're guaranteed a water path, which a lot of nations just straight up don't get access to. And then it's all the same paths, except I don't think Ministers get nature. Yeah. Nature's on the Masters of the Way, and then Earth is on the Ministers of Magic. So either way, this is a lot of magic diversity from this one site. I think it's vanilla. I think it's a vanilla site. I can't remember. Me personally, I think I have access to all of these paths other than air. Actually, no, I do have access to air through the bone readers. What I don't have access to is cheap, super efficient researchers like the Ministers of Magic. So I'm super happy to start producing these guys. Just in case, I do have bone readers down here in the waste. I don't know if I've mentioned this. I don't always recruit them because I don't really need too many of them. I need them to site search air for me, which, if you realize by now, is going pretty damn well. And just in case, the site search frequency is only 55, so it's like middle age but slightly better. So that's going really well. I know I had Ichthyids here in Water 1, and they site searched all of that for me. And my water incomes are doing really well. So like that's why I always search at least 1x in paths. And now there's 2 things I need to show you guys. The tomb guys, the guys from Hidden in Tombs, I think I already moved them, but they give you 1 Tomb King, 1 High Priest, and 1 Hyrule, or Grave Consorts. Then, I think they're over in this province now, then it gives you a bunch of these mummified guys, which you have a mummified ceremonial guard, who the highlight of them is they are undead, but they have absurdly high magic resistance, very good protection, a lot of hit points for a size 2, pretty good stats, and a magical spear. Weaknesses? Really susceptible to fire. You can't fix that. They also have they're also plague carriers, so they're disease units. Don't put this next to your living mages. Please don't do that. And they're not cold-blooded. Huge. That's the ceremonial guard. The regular mummified soldiers are kind of the same thing, but worse in every single way. But what can you do? And then the mage, I don't remember the paths that they can random. This guy specifically ended up getting Death Nature, which I was assuming I was going to need later if I want to cast or craft the Jade Mask, which is a status-only item that gives you like Death 2, auto cast, Rigor Mortis. Pretty darn good thing. It's like Destruction 8 though, but this is a very rare crosspath without summoning Troll Shamans. So I said, oh, I can't risk this guy. He can also reanimate when he's not doing anything. Not Tomb Chariots, but he can reanimate. And at the end of the day, beyond any of that crap, this is a 6-path mage. That's also holy too. Not cold-blooded. Pretty legit. And then we needed to find, I had, there's a dude somewhere, I'll never find him now, that I had empowered. This guy, Giru. I had empowered Giru in fire. So now he is a Fire 3, Death 3. And the reason for this is so that once I hit Construction 6, I can give him I can craft a Skull of Flames to make him Fire 4, then he can craft a Flame Helmet and become Fire 5, and at Fire 5 I can summon, oh, I guess this is only Fire 4. There's something I need to Fire 5 for. But other than that, Fire 3 is useful because I can cast Forest Fire. This is Fire 3 to cast 5 Fire Gems. Similar in vein to the Banefire Braziers, does all the same things, increase heat, death, and unrest. I can have a mage spend his turn producing medium-sized fire elementals, so size 3s, if I remember correctly. But more importantly, it generates 2 fire gems per turn. So it's 1 gem per month to maintain it, but then I get 2 per turn back. So the longer this runs, and I don't need to really do anything else, it just creates a site that's 2 fire gems per turn. So as long as this runs, it's going to give me cash back, fire gems back, which you see it's already at plus 20. And I'm doing all these fire gems so that I can go add more death gems so that I can make more chariots. And again, forest fire can only be cast in forest, but hey, luckily for me, I just conquered a hell of a lot of forests, so we're going to see my fire income go up. But it does cost fire 3 to cast that spell. And I don't often have fire 3s available. I'm going to have fire 2s sometimes, and they can be given flame skull things to get fire 3, and then they cast it, but it's slow. So having a fire 4 to craft me a flame helmet and kind of double up my production, or more flame skulls, that's going to help a lot. I think that's it for turn 43. We are at 17 minutes, so we got time. Let's go 44. All right, so we get a bunch of Astral Gems from Asphodel. I send them probably Nature Gems. These Astral Gems are probably going to turn around and go straight to Erythea for more gold. We start casting Create Familiar because I want to start scouting things. More Opening of the Mouth for some research. More Tomb Kings. 3 Tomb Kings. It's 15 Chariots per turn right there. We find a Carrion Thicket in the Troll Land, and we have some battles of which, again, I think it's just me. Oh, here we have a bump. I think it's just me like being a Marverne PD. So here we bump into Ermor. Not the happiest that this happened, but it is what it is. And he breaks a little hole through my main chariot line, kills the commander, and the rest of my chariots disintegrate. Unfortunate. We kick Marverne's butt in Dothian, but then I have nothing to stop the big stack of Ermorian vultures. Very unfortunate. Okay, Lemuria and Marverne are fighting. We take Geisha with no resistance, as was the deal. More diseases all over the place. And a blizzard in Welred. Worldwide, Veil of Infinite Horrors, horror marks everybody. Joke's on you. My god never came back. He's still dead. You can't horror mark him. He's losing horror marks per turn. Suck it. And here I am taking, the rest of my Marverne stuff. I find the Painted Crypt is where he was summoning his ethereal undead. I lose the Parched Expanse to Ermor, which sucks. Hilariously, it does have a Pool of Sanctity, which is going to kill some of the undead. But yeah, I'm not too happy about that. Marverne, again, true to his word, continues to move south. We will come behind him. Again, my my logistics chain of chariots continues moving now. Now we're adding an additional province in the Vician Forest, and we'll go into the Saran Forest, into Marverne, and we'll just keep trickling out toward Marverne to make sure that there are always new chariots making it to the front line. We are now at 70 per turn on turn 44. Kind of good. Not the best, but kind of good. And these 3 down here on the bottom, as soon as I give them Amulets of the Dead, they should go up. They should put me at 80 per turn. And 80 per turn is a very important number because by default, the Mummified Princes and, for non-status, would be the Revived King, the Mound Kings, have 80 under leadership. So 80 is a big milestone where if I want to have this whole logistics chain running from my capital, I'm going to need to summon a lot more Tomb Princes. So it's at this point where I think, okay, maybe I shouldn't have everything come from New Status. Maybe I should make one in Marverne, like start summoning Tomb Kings in Marverne itself to start, sending out the troops, or start making chariots from a different point. Okay, nothing fancy is going on here. I think I had the blood slaves. Oh no, I'm gonna hold on to these for a while. I got plans for those. Let's move on to 245. Okay, we receive a bunch of stuff from Erythea and Middle Atlantis that we traded for. Fortunately, no gold. We find windswept catapults in the Vician Forest. These are kind of important too. Yeah, these are really important because you have a Death 3 mage summons a Storm Demon, excuse me? A free Storm Demon? Hell yeah, I have Death 3 mages all over the place. Give me a free Storm Demon every turn. That's 10 Blood Slaves a turn. Yeah, Storm Demons are freaking amazing. Hell yeah, give me that. I was super excited to find that. Okay, we find a battlefield on Silver Wall. Not to give it less credit, I'm always excited to find more Death Gems. There's a battle in Northia where nothing really happens, and a battle in Saran Forest where I just capture a fort. I guess he left some mages behind. Whoops. But yeah, they're just gonna get trampled. Yikes. More plague. More diseases. Jeez. Just gems. Worldwide event where the Throne of Fortune is spreading. Thank Pantocrator. Because I have all these bad events. Marverne patrols into kills one of my scouts. And Ubar is gone. Old Micklin is gone. Rip. Otherwise, nothing exciting again. And it might follow this until I'm done annexing Marverne. This is what I wanted, guys. This is what I was saying earlier on why I needed so much gold, so I can make so many trades, so I can do so many things. I needed to make sure I took everything before someone like Ermor decides he wants everything. He could have probably vultured more, but I think I was a little bit quicker on the draw. Okay, let's move on to 46. Okay, another dire portent. Bubbles has cast a new enchantment. I'll take a look at the globals list before this is over. We create more familiars. Start casting Arcane Probing sometimes because trade with Erythea, if you're noticing, is slowing down a little bit. So we start casting Arcane Probing. We can find Earthblood Seepage. I love the site. Well of Whitewater. There's a battle in Ban Kish. So now Ermor is just going to go and wrap up Dom Daniel, who's using these Jinn. Unfortunately, Jinn, while invisible to normal troops, are not invisible to the undead, who really have Spirit Sight. They don't care. So they're not as good versus Long Dead as they could be, despite their very high defense in Magic Power, in Magic Dominion. And it looks like their leader gets killed, and then they rep. Probably due to being fatigued from casting spells. Evergreen Forest, nothing happens. Forest of Falling Leaves, a bunch of just leftover dispossessed spirits are enough, apparently, to kill Patience. And in Geisha, we capture the forest, or the fortress, with just a bunch of chariots. Okay, winter is finally starting to stop some of these plagues. However, in Bayville, we turn the dying victims into death gems. Great job. Whatever necromancer did that, straight up promotion for him. Okay, this is what Relay had cast, the Great Tower, and we'll look at that in a second. So just again, review the map real quick. Sodworth, the site of many battles, is here. So it seems like whenever Facia comes in and takes these forts, he doesn't stick in Sodworth or do anything there. Just weird. It's a whole lot of nothing going on down there. Marverne is preparing to march south, I'm assuming. Ermor is taking this stuff. He also took Ashington over here from Ind, who, if I remember correctly, this was his capital, has been mulched by now by Atlantis and Chaco. Chaco, I believe, is running off into this floating planet. I really don't know too much about the goings of the world. I know Lucid is everywhere. This is Lucid stuff in New Relay. I never found out where his capital was. Imagine that. What I do know is that I have found a few paths that get me to Grippa over here in Valanis. And I know that this province here, Jaburnia, is really important for me to get to Valanis and eventually attack Grippa. That is the goal of the game. And now finally the globals. We have Tower of Heavens. This is the one that just got cast. It's again, you can pause and read what it does, or at least the lore of it. I'm just going to read you what it does, which is 500 gold per turn. Kind of cool. It's like a free capital. 5 temple checks per month, so 2,000 gold worth of temples. And all friendly provinces lose 15 unrest per month, which can be really, really good, especially if you're a blood hunter, which I'm sure Lucid is like scout hunting or something, or just buying slaves and then empowering and hunting with that. He's also got Eyes of God, so he knows everything. Mana from the Heavens. It's a really weird spell. It does things. I'm not a fan because you have to put a bunch of priests to start preaching, and then you sometimes get gems. I like it for the growth scales. Growth scale's good. Preaching, I guess. Forge of the Ancients for Legolm, Riches from Beneath for Kalisa, Mother Oak on Asphodel, and Eternal Pyre for your relay, because Lucid has everything at this point. Yeah. And then Ermor is running up here with a huge army to do things, to fight Dom Daniel. Excuse me. All right, that's 46. On to 47. And we're at 25 minutes, so 47 will be the last one for this episode. The Bank of Erythea opens again. I am ecstatic. I get 3,000 gold. We get a bunch more familiars, and again, I'm recruiting familiars because I'm really, really gold constrained. I have a lot of nature gems due to taking all this forest, due to taking Marverne, and I just really need gold. So each familiar is the equivalent of 25 gold recruitment, and then 20 gold per turn in upkeep. Sometimes they're amphibious. They're like little amphibious frogs. Other times they're little cats. Just little random animals that go places and see things, and I don't have to pay them because they're frogs and cats. We find a painted cave and an ancient temple. Always site search, holy one. In Sodorth, again, Phaecia shows up and fights Lemuria. In the Mines of Fortune, middle relay attacks new relay and loses, but if I remember correctly, this should be a big fight. Ariu attacking new relay. Is it? Okay, this one's not the big fight. I guess you're going to see it next turn. So Ariu is played by Nick Knight, who is one of the scarier players out there that you potentially don't ever want to fight. I'll let him cast some spells, get his bless out. But we see that Natural Storm has been auto-cast by a Tuatha, who probably has, Staff of Storms. Let them cast some things. Are these guys auto-blessed? They're not even getting blessed? Okay, well, we gave you some time. So he's got Ghosts, which Ghosts are super underrepresented for how good they are. Ethereal, Fear, Chill Aura, AP attacks. Ghosts are pretty good. Furbolg Gallowglakes, pretty darn good. Asparth, 25 damage, 200 weapon on a Furbolg. Furbolg who actually decided that he should probably wear a helmet. Yeah, this is a fantastic unit. They're probably really expensive. 13 gold per year is probably 16 or 17 recruitment. That's totally worth it. Behind them, we have some AOC. These guys are free spawn, I believe. Yeah. So they're free spawn, non-sacred Tuatha Warrior. They generate unrest. You want to kind of spawn them and get them the hell out of your land. Into the rest of them, you have reanimation summoning some Long Dead of some Fomorian Long Dead. So size 4, they hit pretty damn hard. Some Ariu Long Dead. You can see with the broad axes. These are Furbolg guys. He's got a lot of spells going on. Are you guys blessed? Cool. So this is Ariu's blessed. It's a whole bunch of a lot of everything. The surprising one is only 5 fire resistance. You'd think he'd do 10 so that he'd still be fire resistant after mass protection, but I understand he wanted that attack skill. Totally makes sense. Tuatha are, and I'm probably butchering their name by the way. You guys can write into comments the proper way of saying it, but for me, I'm going to say Tuatha. Tuatha are amazing sacreds. They're really, really strong. Yeah, they're not as dodgy, I guess, as Vans, but they hit a hell of a lot harder than Vans do. But yeah, this is pretty basic Elf Bless. And then they're getting all these buffs to make them lucky, to make them have these hard-hitting broadswords. Wow, 15 strength baseline. That's before Strength of Giants. That's pretty impressive. These Fianna, which I'm almost certain you summon them. You turn air gens into Fianna or something like that. Pretty good. Pretty good units. We have this guy who got Mind Blasted, these enchanters. They're just the mage, some bean shees in the back, or banshees. No, it's not bean shees, it's banshees. they all have these names that are spelled in certain ways. No, these are banshees. Back here we have a spectral druid, some DE contraption that gives Aerie a lot of death. Pretty good. Some bards doing bardic inspiration. And yeah, looks like it's just gonna go punch some melee and stuff. Speaking of which, I think everything here has everything but the inanimates has glamour for a reason. It's one of these guys. It's a pretty damn good item in Dominion's Enhanced that not many people use. Where the heck is it? It is the Moon Bowl. Probably one of these guys has it. It's a Moon Bowl that it's a really weird crosspath. It's really expensive. What it does is it reduces, there it is. It reduces the army size on the map, so your army looks smaller, and then in combat gives everything that isn't inanimate glamour, essentially a mirror image. And that can be huge when you have like these guys with their 19 defense. That makes everything pretty much an elf, which is kind of awesome if I'm going to be honest. I do that all the time. And then I go in and take Troya, losing nothing but my Mummified Prince, my prophet. Okay, a bunch of terrible events. And yeah, kind of a not the craziest turn, I guess, this week for you guys. This is just last week, we were hiding in our fort in the Forest of Gun, debating whether we're going to survive the next few turns or not. This week, we are summoning rabbits and rats and frogs and various critters to scout for us, and just annexing all of Marverne as I've been wanting to do for this entire game. Oh, yeah. If you notice, there's no one in the Vistian Forest right now. I think at this moment, I changed my logistics chain to go to faster in Vongar so that I can get to faster. Getting to is always going to be a mission and a half while if my Dominion gets over there because of this big river. But I'm sure we figure it out later. Worldwide, nothing fancy. The war against Phaecia and Lemuria continues. We see that Ariu, and I'm sure it's a few others, have now begun to attack Lucid. And again, we spot them with our little critters, our cats, our dogs, our rabbits. Because this meteor here in Sauron's sphere is one of the ways that I considered using to get to Villanis and fight Grippa. I have a very one-track mind for that. Unfortunately, I also have ADD and I get distracted a lot in this combat. Through my expansions, mind you, something like the Nether Mines, where again, critters are here, I do notice that Ys is over here on this planet, just hanging out on his own, and this planet gets you places. It's not important now, but maybe for later. And just in case, the last bastion of my actual Statistician troops, I've been recruiting City Guard over here, because they have pretty good siege defense. And my throne here in Scorpion Cracks, on top of giving me just an absurd amount of gems, has a lot of bordering provinces that I frankly cannot keep track of because some of them are off-world. So the best defense I have against that is making sure that I have a decent fortification and I start building up some siege strength so that if I do get attacked, and I really don't see it coming because it probably won't, I can turn around and do something about it. I have time to send something over. I wish I had my god to magic phase over in case something bad happened, but he's busy being dead so that the horrors don't kill him and bully him when he comes back. So I guess the only other thing to show, because I know in another video someone else mentioned site search OCD. Here you go. Everything must be searched, at least one in every path, just in case. So I have this absurd gem income you guys see here. And it only gets worse. It gets so much worse than this. All right, so with that, I'll leave you guys here on turn 47, and I'll see you next time on turn 48 and onward.